Hey guys, it's your boy Kyle back with some more Factory Town. Today, I have come to the frightening realization that I am running out of red coins. I wanted to sell crowns to get yellow coins because otherwise I wouldn't hit equilibrium on that. But I think what I have to do is I instead have to shut down this terrible Earth Shrine system because it's just eating away all of my money. That being said, this entire line needs to be restructured a little bit because it doesn't have enough mines on it. It needs, if I look back at this, I must have cleared it. Or no, it's back towards the top, sorry. I need 28 iron ore, which requires 14 mines to produce, and that is not the number of mines that I have down here. So I need to rebuild this system with more mines, optimize it, and more importantly, remove the Earth Shrine. So for now, what I can do is probably try and siphon them out of the system, and then come back to it in a little bit. So if I look at the mana network, what do I want to do? To get all of them out of the system, but let me back up. I need to get them out of the system, but I don't want to waste them. So what I'm probably going to do is pipe them back to the Omnistone generator. Or alternatively, I guess I could pipe them back to the production facility. But I think it's producing them at a faster rate than it's using them, so that's not even really that helpful. So I guess I'll just pipe them directly into the Omnistone generator, and eventually they will siphon their way out. So to do that, instead I'll move these blockers one block over, and then just pipe all of them out. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so what's the easiest way to get these there? Just like this. Alright, so that will pipe in. Now we just have to pipe all of the pipes to this. And in due time, it will sort itself out. In the meantime, we will need to go and... Why is one of these like... Oh, I see, it's because they're further upstream, that's why it's not as full. Okay, it doesn't seem like it'll take that long to pipe everything out. We will see a happiness drop as a result of this, but hopefully I'll be able to switch crowns to fire rings and still turn a profit on yellow coins. If that does not prove to be the case, then we have a bigger issue. Most of this infrastructure can stay. Actually, I don't even need. So, let me take a step back. A fire ring requires 2 polished stone and only 1 gold ingot, so I can cut down my gold infrastructure by half. But then I don't need fuel for the other aspects as well, so I can tell it to craft both of these. I didn't realize that. It's kind of cool. I want both of these doing fire. The problem's going to be now is that I should probably just delete them and rebuild them, because they get an additional storage slot because they had items in their storage originally, and it just creates a whole bunch of glitches that are no fun. So, probably want to clear out the gold on the left side because 1, it's in the way of my farms, and 2, it's just underneath stuff, so it would make sense to get rid of that. The iron can actually be trashed altogether. The iron needs to be converted to stone. I don't know how much stone. I suppose I should look into that. So I need 2 stone. Well, here, let me go back up. I should have, yes, crowns. Instead of iron plates, instead of crowns, we'll change it to fire ring. So I need 1 gold, 2 polished stone. I can keep the gold, or actually I can cut it down, and then we're fine. But, so clear contents, polished stone. I should mention This list is complete and is available for you viewers to utilize if you so choose by downloading it or going to the Google Drive page that is linked below the stream box. So have at it. Need 2 stone. So I only need 2 stonemasons even, which is nice because that means I don't have to rebuild most of my stuff. That being said, it should only take 1 mine, I would think. Stone is further to the bottom. It takes 2 yellow coins, but it's not that bad. Yeah, it's only gonna take 1 mine. So let's delete. I will end up rebuilding the whatever it is, the enchanter that's there, but honestly I should just delete this whole half, make life easier. And I know what I need to do. So it's not like it'll be that hard to rebuild it all. I guess I can keep that infrastructure. It's not in my way and it'll be a pain to rebuild. I do need to be conscious though of the fact that these have iron ore on them. So what I actually need to do is unpause it for a second and clear the conveyor. So everything's doing what it's supposed to be doing. But it's going to be really hard if I don't make the mines produce the correct thing. Or actually, let me delete this mine and change this mine to stone. Delete all the iron ever so carefully. And replace it with stone. Okay, so what I've got down here, I move all of the iron off of it, reach all these tiles. Seems like I'm okay. Yes, so all those are cleared off. Can actually just kind of copy this, and then I'll have space for my other stonemason. Except I'm deleting lines I don't mean to be deleting. Okay. I guess I can just kind of clear this area out and I don't need to be so precise about it. Yeah, especially because what I've accidentally deleted scaffold from the bottom layer. Okay, so did I get all the... I think I got all the iron off of there. So let's put down some stone. Just like we did with this system, I'll need to filter out all of the air energy and just bring it to the Omnistone generator because I do not need... Okay, I won't be needing them, I'll be needing fire crystals. Can I get this where I need it to be? This is not going to be a fun camera angle to work with. Seems like the answer is yes. Okay. Make sure all my conveyors are in the right spots. Throw down the grabbers. Come on, you can get that last one. You can do it. You can do a game. I know you can. I saw it was there for a second. Yes, okay. So there are the grabbers. Let's throw down silos again. Okay, so there are still iron system. Okay, so now I need 2 stonemasons. Both set to be producing polished stones. Okay, next layer, and then we should be in the clear. And then it'll just be a matter of deleting the excess of the gold line. I guess what I should do is delete the gold line first. Then siphon out all of my crystals with the game unpaused, and then I won't have to worry about fighting it quite so much. So clear all this out, clear out this forge. We can actually delete half, or the majority of these fuel lines. So we only need one now. Might as well be the one that is closest to the medicinal line. The rest can just be trashed. Okay, so that's where that needs to be. Let me get the crystals out of the system, or build that pipe. Okay, so now instead of a splitter, we'll put a blocker. I will need to put that back because I don't want to delete this infrastructure, although I'll kind of I'll have to mess with it a little bit once I place the new enchanters, but that's beside the point. So blocker there. How do I get my air crystals where they need to be? Because yes, I did indeed block off that path. Fantastic. We've got... Okay, no, we don't have a space to work with. I was thinking I could be cheeky, but I'm gonna have to build a new line. Where is the best question? I guess... I think it was there. Okay. What am I doing? No, I gotta build it over here. Then build the transmitter right there. Okay, so that will get it underneath the earth line. I can just connect it right into the air line, and we are in the clear. So yep, if I unpause the game, everything starts flowing out, working as intended, and it pops back up. Alright, perfect. Let's get these destroyed. What's this monolith? I guess this is gold. Gotta be careful not to delete anything that I don't mean to, because there's a lot of stuff going on over here. Some gold that just wants to be turned into gold ingots, but alas, it shan't. I can clear most of this now. Okay, so this gold section is only cutting into a small portion. But I'll still want to remove it, because why not, I guess. And I can fit, and I deleted more than I needed to. Okay, so this much can be reached, and I might as well cover it with grain. Beauteous. Alright. Put down some more gold. I put the gold in the wrong spot. Okay. So we should, yes, these are filling up with gold ingots, which is good. I will need to modify the line now because the old system was only designed around one enchanter per half. That is not the case anymore. I suppose I should hook up the rest of these resting. Okay, so it looks like there's still some iron blocking this stone mason. So I guess we'll just clear it all out. Is there... okay, yeah, there's still some in these silos, that's the problem. So I want to clear them out. Okay, so now that one should be good. Okay. Put all the grabbers down. Put that back. Put these grabbers here. And the new silos. I do that over here. Are these ones good? These ones have nothing in them either, presumably for the same reasons. Yes. So, okay, so that one's full, which means it's just on the path itself. I don't think I'm going to be able to click on everything, though. Maybe I can. That was a much easier solution than deleting it like I did with everything else. Okay, so yes, we're getting stone now. Perfect. So these should start filling up with polished stones. Yes. And now, more importantly, I can hook them in. Okay, so there's iron plates here, but just on the path itself. Okay. So pause the game again real quick. So my gold lines are filling up. I mean, I guess they're already filled, but I don't want to waste any more gold than is completely necessary. So, how do I distribute my gold fairly? Can just do the really dumb... oh no. Do the really dumb solution where excess goes to the next line. And honestly, that's what I'm going to do, because I think it should be fine either way. It'll sort itself out in the meantime. It's not gonna get too backed up. So basically what this will do is one of these, namely this front one, is going to be the priority enchanter, and it will run until it's backed up, and then the other enchanter will get stuff. Okay, fire ring. So yeah, this will fill up very quickly, and then this other one will start to fill up. Alternatively, I could just make one of these other lines, namely this back one, go directly into this enchanter. It's probably for the best. Okay. It's not pretty, but it works. So let me check the mana network and see how that's doing. Yes, of course, the rest of the system is not going to filter out until it has had the chance to exit the system. So we'll let it do that. Because I'll need to rebuild these, I need to rebuild the connectors anyway, now that they have new buildings. I can replace this blocker with a splitter. And last but not least, delete this map. Even delete the receiver, but not quite the transmitter yet. How many are in it? Oh, it's full. Oh, both of them are full. Okay, well, not full, but they've got stuff in them, so I can't delete them yet. So this gold system is not completely backed up yet. And while it would be nice to give it a chance, I should probably get some fire crystals into the system. So where are my fire lines, and what's the best way to work with them? They seem to be blocked off quite a bit, so good thing we've got this right here that I would have to reverse the polarity of. But instead, I'm just going to build an additional line immediately adjacent to it that will function as my other means of getting to the other side of the line. Amazing. Look at that science right there. Okay, you go there. And then this needs to go... Does it need to go over here? Don't know quite how many fire crystals I need, but I have plenty to work with. I guess let's cut it right here. Then let everything else filter through and see how it works. Okay, so it is entering the system, starting to see fire rings come out. Yellow coins are dropping, and red coins are slightly going up, kind of. That's fucking terrible. Damn it. Okay, how is it? What can I do to fix this? Is my goal completely unattainable? I can shut off the Omnistone generator. We'll see if that has any noteworthy impact. 0% production. So we'll see what direction yellow coins start to go now that they're not being used for as much. Hopefully that's back up, but I'm not confident. Okay, it is starting to go back up, so the Omnistone generators just cost too much. The Earthstones should be out of the system now, I would think. Or rather, I would hope. Fuck, they're not. I can't delete this pipe yet. Okay, I guess what I'm going to do is block the natural pipeline of earth crystals, turn the Omnistone generator back on until it runs out, and then we'll go from there. Oh, I see, these are still recharging, so that's partly why it's like my coins are going down while it's on, because this is still running at the same level of consumption that it was before. It just isn't. It has an eventual endpoint. People are unhappy because I messed with lines, but they should start getting more specialty goods in, which will improve happiness. But we're down by a full 100 because we should be, or no, this is right. Let's see, 12, 13. Act, what item? Because this is 12, 13. How am I at? Am I at 1350 if I'm only producing 13 categories of goods? Oh wait, no, I am producing 14. Okay. I'm like, wait a second, the math doesn't add up here. Okay. Clear out this line, or the scaffold that is unnecessary from the line. It is crazy how fast it is just pumping through the magma, even for just one thing. But it is being produced at an astronomically high rate, so it's all good. Now I just have to delete this bit, which I'll probably want to pause the game while I do, because I need the frame rate boost to see what I'm doing. So I did notice also, and this could be partly why I'm running into issues with red coins, and that is that my... Oh, come on, don't do this to me, game. Fine. I have to move the fire shrine so I can delete the scaffold that is above them. My fish delivery system doesn't have enough minecarts going through it, so I need to put more minecarts into the system. I'm a little bit concerned because we have reached the 4th out of 5 fish farms, so there is a non-zero chance that I may have to produce or may have to add to the line. And mostly the biggest part about that is that I can't promise that I remember how I designed it. The logic part of that. So, go over here. Yeah, because if we see this number is not 2000, which means minecarts are going through it. So, probably the easiest way to do this would just be to add a handful more carts. And by a handful, I mean a lot. Let's see, 4, is that... So that one's 10. Add 12 more carts. Select them all. Rotate them. It will go and steal a bunch of fish from this, but also, more importantly, improve the throughput of the system, because these barns are consuming fish faster than they are receiving replenishment, which is an issue. The system is so, like, just glitchy because it's, the frame rate's so low. Problem is that this barn is prioritized 1/3 of the time, but it only uses, like, 20%. And I did not give myself enough infrastructure to have, that many to build the compute blocks to split it appropriately. I might need to look into doing that, though, because it might be the only way to really eke out the efficiency I need from this system. And more importantly, I have designed a compute block setup that will do this. I'm getting scared about these trees. This just inevitable line of death that's following the trees, and you have to hope the new ones grow before they get finished, but we're not at 1500 happiness, or not at 1600 happiness yet. Granted, we're close, but we aren't there yet, and I'm like scared that it's gonna catch up, and that this is gonna be where one of my bottlenecks is. Also, I forget that the Steam network breaks every time you start the game, so I guess I should probably fix the Steam network just to squeeze out that little extra productivity. Okay, so let me go study up real quick on how to split things. We might see happiness drop because I think these mines are going, or these forges aren't going to be at the productivity they need to be. But that is beside the point. Okay. So in other words, we might not be producing enough iron. I guess the big one's going to be nails, but I think there's enough in the system currently that it can kind of coast for a while. Yeah. Okay, so I have 2 triggers. And a pusher. This is the more complicated system as well. I don't need as complicated of a system. So I just need to count up to however many. And holy spreadsheet, yes. If you would like the spreadsheet yourself, you can get it through a link below. But it's a tool I made to hopefully make life a little easier, so I don't need to keep track of everything and do math in my head, which I find that I'm unable to do the later the evening progresses. So what I need to do can actually move this over. Move the splitter to there, and then use a pusher. So basically, more of a throw everything I got at it, yeah. I'm trying to like get a low score of the number of workers I have working to get everything done, but I'm not sure how well I'm going to achieve that. I just remembered one person in my chat said I think it took him 600, so that's my goal, is to beat him. So I need a pusher. The pusher will be turned off currently. Now I need some space for my compute blocks. So I I need an agent trigger, which is on, and is looking at the pusher. Then I need a counter. And then the counter needs to compare to a math block. And if it is greater than or equal to, I think 4, then it needs to turn on. I forget how else I did this. Let me see. So that'll link there. Then I need a second agent trigger that's looking at the spot next to where the thing goes. And that will push a 0. I believe this is how it needs to be. Let's see. Where is it? Number block. So that pushes a 0, which resets the counter. So hopefully then 4 will go one way, 5 will go, the 5th one will go up, and then things won't break down as much. Let's see. What am I looking for? Logic set block. I didn't connect the counter to the other thing. So it's hard to see what's going on, but it looks like only 3 are going. So this needs to be, how about greater than instead of greater than or equal to? What happened? Okay, this could be a potential source of issues. Apparently, if a cart is coming down, oh wait, no, they're probably just backing up on this end. Never mind. So I need to like focus long enough to count the number of things that are going through, but it seems like it's doing what it's supposed to. It helps if you want fish to go into that barn that you put a rail stop there. Okay, so this barn is basically full now because of how imbalanced the system was for a moment, but hopefully this barn will fill back up. Then the 5th cart always goes to the top. I hope that ratio is correct because otherwise I'm going to have to rework the system, but I know that this uses a lot less than the rest of the system. I guess this would only help the ointment aspect of the line because that still had a full barn, and this is for the Pultit or the medical wraps. So they need more cloth. It still seems like we're having issues with distribution. Let me guess, these sheep need more grain. Yes, of course, they always need more grain. What do I want to do about that? Should probably give them some grain. I'm kind of at a point where I can't upgrade much. So, do I produce grain from another source, or do I produce cotton or wool? Here's some cloth that seems to be just running at a wild excess. Let's borrow from here. Okay. I don't know why this isn't backed, or why this is like, okay, so needs more leather. Because it's not getting enough grain there. But I have 4 of these, don't I? I guess I could throw some Omnistone upgrades on them. Gave that one too many upgrades, oh well. Do I only have 2 producing leather? But that should be, like, enough. I guess let me try that real quick. So let's see, leather. On an 8-second cycle, produces 1 for animal feed. I guess I knew that already, but that's beside the point. So 4 animal feed. No. Yes. 8 grain. How many farms do I need to make 8 grain? So to produce 8 grain, it only needs 1.5. So basically there's no reason that I should be having any problems. But I should see a little bit of improvement now, which is good. But what I can do is siphon cloth off of this line to bring to the other location. So I'll probably, it's running on 2 platforms, which is kind of an issue, because then I have to get a train of 2. But I guess, to be fair, I'm only need it to feed into 1 workshop, so I can probably just borrow from the bottom line. Which one of these is more inclined to back up? It seems like they're both inclined to back up at relatively the same frequency. But if it ever hits a point where that's not the case, the bottom will back up before the other one does. So, steal from the bottom, divert the line, and put a pusher so that the original line is still the priority, but then if it's backed up, the items will travel down this line. And more importantly, we need to get them into this, whatever you call these, got names, workshop. Okay, so looks like we're not, I don't have a perfect, well, can just be a little cheeky about it, I guess. Do that. Wait, no, that's gonna block it, isn't it? Guess let me wait and see until I get something coming out of this workshop, which isn't happening. Because stuff, reasons, alright, whatever. I just won't do that. That sounds like a better plan. Okay. It's all gonna come this way. I need to go up and over. But also turn. So I guess we could do the first bit of the ramp here. And the second bit of the ramp here. And then we're at the height we need to be. But it doesn't look nice, so like I don't want it. I guess what I can do instead is just hug this structure. Need to rotate these silos so they face into each other. Okay. Oh, it does only need to go up 1 block also, I'm realizing. So up there, and then back down immediately. And just feed in. Okay, so now, if the clothes line is backed up at any point, we'll be able to borrow some cloth. Guess there's no reason not to do the same thing on the top. So actually, because this feeds out of the front of the building, we can kind of cheat a little bit, and we don't have to make the line as convoluted. So I can actually go down from the top as a straight line, because I have to use a grabber there, and then just feed the other one in on the side. Okay. So now we have this feature installed on both halves, which should hopefully result in a more accurate siphoning. And then as a result, increased medical wraps, which should improve red coin production, although that's fine now. It's the gold coins that we're worried about, but I am still producing Omni Stones. I think once I shut that off, we'll be in the clear. I still feel like this is going to not be good enough, though. feel like I need more cloth in this system. So what are all the problem areas? So this doesn't have enough cloth. This doesn't have enough wool. Need more wool! But my wool needs more animal feed. And my grain mills need more grain. And I have a very dense build that doesn't really allow for much expansion. So I could add an extra farm to this. That will prioritize this upper barn. Which should... So this upper barn only produces cloth for the last step in the production line, which is already like sort of backed up. The poultices have, just by the addition of this, the poultices have caught up. So now we need, so we can't really prioritize the one line. We need to prioritize this other line. That's not going to work very well. I do notice that I have this infrastructure that's built in a way that I can get animal feed onto it. But this system has finally caught back up, so it's not really producing excess animal feed at all. Or at least not much. But that does give me a place to hook into the system if I can find a way to produce grain and bring it to that point. Have some unused ground. Okay, so here comes some grain, which will artificially boost this production line for a short period of time. I don't know if we're going to see any real gains from that, though. Okay, hilariously enough, we've already siphoned too much excess. So we just gotta get the poultice line running. Which means we need more grain on this line. Can I reasonably get grain up to that point using this space? I feel like the answer is yes, but it ain't gonna be pretty. So I could build a farm under the packager. I have enough space to put a grain mill there, so then the grain mill it'll work, but it won't be pretty, that's your life. Okay, so we'll just do a little farm here that isn't perfect, but should get the job done. It's got water, which is good. I need some farm tiles. Basically, we'll just play the game of how many farm tiles can I reach, because that's the best I can do. And planting the resources will be a lot easier, but... Oh no, I've got links turned off, sorry. Oh, a picture of the Omnistone farm. Mine is not very great either. And it has unnecessarily hooked up all of like the extra elemental boosts. Oh no. I'm not looking at Twitch through the like official thing. I've got it open in Streamlabs, which I think is more of kind of like hooked in and listening rather than... I think I might actually be able to get farm tiles everywhere that I need to. I've built some in places where they can't be reached. Come on. Paths everywhere. Silos storing backlog, yeah. I finally gave up and just started feeding Omnistones to my base, because I'm like, I'm not really going to use these base slots in any way that's more beneficial than holding an Omni Stone, so I guess I'll start feeding them back there. Okay, so that's about as much grain as that's gonna fit. And then we can go up to the grain mill. I feel like every so often I'm just gonna see this and be disappointed. Like, why did I do it like this? Okay, so that'll be producing now. Just have to pull from it. And I only have a line for space for one line, so I guess I'm only going to use one line. Okay, so that's where that needs to be. I just hope I can get the ramp. I might not be able to. No, not even close. I guess I could use a silo. Yeah, that should work. Any idea how to increase the output of Fire Temple? Upgrading it with Omni Stones, to the best of my understanding, is the only way to do so. So they're kind of the soft caps on production of certain things are the temples, because you can only boost them so fast. In creative mode you can place more temples, but I think in the regular game there's only one temple per world of each element. I'm not 100% confident on that, but I believe that that is the case. Red coins have gone back up to 1 million, which is good. Yellow coins are just kind of teetering around, which I guess is okay because I do still have the Omni Stone generator running. So if it's balanced, then I don't really have to worry about it too much. Hopefully this system is finally fed out now. Yes. Okay. So I can at least destroy this network. And then, once I'm done playing with my medical line, I will actually go and fix this, since I have like 7 more forges than I need and not enough mines. Well, it was a noble effort, but I guess that's one of the things that the developer needs to consider if they want to push towards Earth Shrine-oriented means of making mines work. I guess the developer doesn't have to necessarily consider what I'm about to say, because I was like, oh, they have to worry about how much yellow coins it's going to cost. And then to some extent they do, but I've built an arbitrary rule set where I'm only allowed to sell certain items. So I could prioritize my items better, but it's against the rules. Okay, so these are all empty now, which means I can delete them. The Omni Stone generator has stopped working because the blocker of the Earth Stones has shut it off. Earth Crystals. I guess, well, now we'll actually see if it's working or not, but that's beside the point. Trash all this, gonna get a ton of Omni Stones back, I think. Yeah, okay, these aren't upgraded as much as I thought they were. Some of them might be, but not all of them. Honestly, hopefully rebuilding this system will help with the frame rate a bit, because I think this is where a lot of the lag in this area comes from. To be fair though, I'm using minecarts and I don't plan on changing that, so I think they cause a lot of frame rate issues. did actually get like 1,700 Omni Stones back. Can you stack the Earth Shrines? You can stack their area of effect, but you can't stack any buildings that used mana energy, or else only the top building will get energy and the rest will all get ignored. But you can like put them next to each other or relatively close to each other and they'll still help each other out. Got so much scaffold to delete here. So if I pause the game, it might be a little easier. I actually had issues where buildings that didn't use mana power were blocking fire shrines, and that was the first time I really ran into that issue, but it might have just been the way that I had laid out things. I had never built buildings over my shrines, so I kept running out of fuel in my system because of it. So that's why there's like the rechargers missing on these points right here, is because they were blocking the fire shrines below them, which didn't make any sense to me, but I just said, okay game, you win, and then took the rechargers out. I have no idea what you use the fire shrines for, or the things that come out of them. The fire shrines are used to produce magma, and the magma works like coal, but more efficient. So it's just another source of heat for any of your buildings that require it, or fuel rather. I don't like to use it because it is, I don't know, honestly it's kind of overpowered, but it costs less than coal because coal requires a ton of red coins, and then obviously fertilizer is just not powerful enough later in the game. I mean, I've tried to use it anywhere I can, so I'm not being too wasteful, but like, what, this an endless sea of fertilizer right here that isn't being used. And actually I should double check back by my food. So I had been messing with that fertilizer line, and I'm like scared that they've run out of fertilizer now. Seems like it's doing okay. I mean, it shouldn't ever run out of fertilizer as long as it's running correctly, because it should produce a surplus, but I don't know, weirder things have happened. We got cheese going. Yeah, okay. Seems like it's doing okay. Back to the destruction. Have to be careful, because if there are any ramps here, I'm definitely going to destroy them. That will be a sad day. Because my whole system will break and I won't even realize it. But now you can actually see the forges and what's going on down here. Whether or not you want to. Okay. So now I can actually mouse over these and see what their condition is. I mean, all these forges, they don't have enough resources, but they shouldn't all need to be filled. The mines are just doing whatever mines are doing. But I need 14, and I think I only have 13. Or I might only have 11, actually. Yeah, I only have 11. That's going to be interesting to figure out how to fit a couple more mines in there. That, to be fair though, it was designed around being boosted. Yeah, but not really by that much. Ooh, okay, this will be an interesting fix. That I'm going to ignore for a moment, I guess. So how are we doing? We are making enough coins, but that is one of the things we will need to fix. I think a lot of those resources are ones that we are not keeping satisfied. Also seems like magical supplies we aren't keeping satisfied, and what's the deal with that? Because I have a pretty consistent stream of items coming out. We're just running into more issues with... Okay, no, so this has enough, it's just not able to output fast enough. Oh, that makes sense, because it... yeah. Okay, never mind. What about leather? How's leather doing? Leather also has enough, but I can upgrade this one. Okay, so that output is full. This needs more cloth, that's the main issue. So what I need to do is... Now, because this is at equilibrium, yeah, okay. I think, let's see, because I can upgrade this with more Omni Stones, which will give it an edge. And that's really the best I could ask for. I think as we get a little bit closer to the production point, we should teeter over the edge. But I do need to fix, and I am starting to see a decline in happiness. I do need to fix this setup, this monstrosity. So, let me think. I don't need these many forges, but I do need to basically rebuild everything, except for like everything. This line right here is my dividing line, and everything else has to get destroyed. So let's get started. Let's get these minecarts out of here first. I want to keep the game paused as long as I can here, because the second I unpause it, all hell will break loose and I'll lose like 300 happiness. Something like that. So we've got nails, we've got fuel everywhere, which was already just like a nightmare to get to this point. But I won't need as many forges, so I won't need to make my layout as obnoxious. So clear this out. I missed one of the minecarts on this level. That should be the last one. Trash all these forges. It's like 1,000 silos I have to remove as well. But the brick must live on. The iron block. Okay. Let's have to clear the transfer silos. Finish deleting the path. Move the fuel lines back out because they probably won't be necessary anyway. And then rebuild. Delete that mine because it's not where it's supposed to be. I guess I can delete all the mines because I'll probably be restructuring it. Clear away all the grabbers because they're blocking my view, and you have to remove everything. Because I don't have to remove everything like this, I could do that. There we go, this is a lot better. But to be careful now because I could very easily carve away at something I don't mean to. And I might have just done that. No, I think we're good. Scrub my mouse over everything until the earth has been purged of this terrible setup. Why is there just like these rocks right here that are still like full? I don't understand. Oh, I missed some grain right here. Gotta put that down. Very carefully ease my camera up right here so I have less of a chance to delete the things I don't want to delete. Okay. There's actually space to put back some trees, so I might as well. Since I deleted the scaffold that had been blocking them. Where's plant tree? Plant tree! Alright. So, this is the space I have to work with. Can delete this as well, because I don't need this. This is where I have to be careful, because this is where I could accidentally delete like a ramp. That breaks everything. Okay, so I do still need to consider having a 2-block gap between buildings, because that's the space that I can move minecarts through. That being said, how much space do I have to work with? I could fit... Can I fit 3 rows of... How many... Let me double, triple check that. I need 14 mines. Because I'll probably just end up building 15. 1, because it'll fit nicer, and 2, it'll... I don't know, make life a little easier. Where was it? It's back at the top. Iron plate. And nails. Yes, I do need 14 mines to meet the required amount. However, I only need 7 forges, so I need to keep that in mind. That I can kind of build my infrastructure in a way that it is not... I don't know where I'm going with that. This is the space I have to work with, though. So I can remove this and get 3 in a row. And then I would have space for 3 by 5, but that's no gap between any of it. Which is unacceptable because it makes my middle section, or my middle mine, completely inaccessible. I could probably cut into the tree farm. It's not running that close to capacity. So I have space to expand this way very slightly. Do I have enough space to do 3? Could I carve out 3 layers? I could. But then I don't have space to move vertically from each mine. I kinda do. It's just gonna be janky. But can work with janky. So I think that's the solution. But before I commit to it, let me think. So if I do that, I have path here, here, and here that will be exposed to the next layer that I can pull resources from. If I do that, then how do I work with the forges? Because I kind of have to travel between all of the pipes to grab all of the ore. And this is going to be a little weird because of how I fed the fuel in before. I had the iron coming in on one side and the fuel coming in on the other, but now the lines would kind of be shared. Is that acceptable? Would that even work? It might. Let's give it a shot. So I need to clear out some resources. Goodbye trees, I'll miss you. And delete these planters. And I didn't need to delete all of them. I can still leave this layer right here. So now we'll throw down 15 mines. which is just ridiculous, but that's beside the point. Hold on, hold on, hold on. These fit 6. Okay. That might make life a little easier. In fact, if I... I guess I do have space to expose this to the next layer. And I don't have to take away as much land from my trees, which is good. So if I do it this way, I need 2 mines per forge across the board, I believe. So I need to design this in a way then that I could have my forges, like I could have a forge here, 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 and here. So then I might want to change how I place. So I need 2 forges for nails, and I need 5 forges for iron plates. So if I do this in a way, I might be able to just kind of put my forge in the middle. It still doesn't solve the issue with resources. No, it does. Okay. So I think if I move 1 mine here, now I have the forges for the nails. And I don't need this space for the forges for the, like this, I don't need this 15th mine. Can I do this in a way then where I could have the 4 forges for nails on the end, then put these forges to... And the 5th forge for iron plates is up here. Then I can keep as many trees in circulation as possible. Although that last set of forges is going to be a pain to work around. What am I looking for? I'm looking for trees. Okay, so set all of these on iron. So it was crazy to think I was only short by 1 mine, but the system was so horribly laid out from every point after the mines that it probably didn't matter anyway. Honestly, here's an idea. Let's scoot everything over by 1 block. Except for these ones. These ones are fine as is. Because then I can make it easier to get the forge line through, and a big nice loop for the heat. Honestly, I have no reason to have these minerals exist, so might as well delete them. And gives me a little more space for grain. And also clear it out on this side. So these ones actually cause a lot of problems, but that's beside the point. If I can delete all of them, that might be a tall ask. Seems like I got that line. Don't know if I got that one. Hope I missed one. Alright. So that's all good. So, now everything needs to go up to the next level. I would prefer fewer silos this time around. It does reduce the overall buffer of of items in the system. Okay, I need to think this through. Don't question mark. So the way that I build these is going to have an impact on where the forges are and how they receive their fuel. The problem is that I need to use both sides because there's two sets of mines. Unless how do I want to do this? So I can have both of these feed into silos, have those silos feed out, but I'm scared about throughput issues. So I guess I'll just kind of have to watch. It might, in that case, be a good idea to kind of build a test system first. So 2 silos, they feed in, go up to the next level. This is where the forges will be. I can, for the time being, simply just pipe in fuel, so that's not an issue, and then pipe out fuel. So where do my iron plates go? This building. So in, out, now I need the forge. Set it to be iron plates. And now we see if enough items can be pushed through the system to not break it. So these silos are backing up, which means the silos are limiting the throughput. And ultimately that's an issue. That cannot be allowed to happen. There is a solution for this, but it's real fucking dumb. I can build the Super Minecart 5000. Everyone's favorite spinning catastrophe. I can't even do that, can I? I would have to literally build one on either side. How is this gonna work? I feel like there's a way that this will work. So. I think the way that it has to work. No. So the Super Spinny Death Trap 5000 is not usable. At least not with 2 silos. Problem is that I don't know if I can use 1 silo and still have it work. Yeah, because now they're running into each other, these mines will back up, so that's not going to work. Is there a way that I can move the silo so that I have more space to work with? Because the problem is I need to access all of these. But we run into the same issue if we move these silos at all. Yeah, which would mean then I need... Honestly, I could still use one silo, but I would need... And I guess I can do it with 3 into 1, and then I don't have to use quite so many. So that'll fill up. And then I would need to, over here, do the same thing. This would work with a... I guess let's see. Because I think I need this block to not be blocking it. It does also expose aside for... Or no, because I still have the backside to get fuel into. I guess alternatively, if it is spaced out by 1 block, I can still... I can move it over. And just do that. And I believe 2 is still enough. So clear that, place another silo. Okay, so now I have a path to work with. And I would need to build a minecart going back and forth between these, dropping them off at the forge. Okay, so let me get some rail stops. Pull out from here, push into there. Don't know how many minecarts I would need, unfortunately, and this is where I'm concerned about this system, because it is going to be catastrophically laggy. Okay, so we should see these start dropping down as quickly as the forge is able to consume them. I guess then, if this doesn't work, what's ultimately going to be the blocker, and this has some undepleted resources which are boosting its speed above what is necessary. Now, well, now the issue is output, so I need more output. There we go. Okay. So now the only thing that's going to limit this is whether or not the forge can consume all of the items. This system is moving artificially quickly. I think it's... so that one gets emptied. This one is slowly going up, but they are a shared system, so you have to kind of look at it that way. But I guess most importantly, the mines themselves aren't backing up, correct? Correct. Okay, so this system works. 2 minecarts is enough. Just have to link each mine up with a forge. These 4 forges and then this forge right here. This one will be set up a little differently, but it shouldn't need minecarts. All of these will follow the same pattern, just these last 2 on the end will be making nails instead of iron plates. This is still backing up. I'm scared about that. I guess I can always just throw Omni boosters on the forges if I deem it necessary. But with knowledge of this being a functional system, I can then now expand it out. So, and then more importantly, there's enough space to get minecarts around on the top layer to push them into their corresponding productivity mines, to the point where I'm almost thinking, do I just put the nails on the end? I don't know. I guess when once I have enough minecarts in the system, they shouldn't need to be filtered because their outputs are filtered, or their destinations are filtered, so I should just be able to have a loop of minecarts going past all of the forges and it should still work. Okay, so let's get building. copy this design. Get these silos down. And them all connected up. Get some grabbers to pull from each mine. And repeat it on the other side. Nope, that's not where I want that. Okay, delete the connection points. Our silos. Yeah, we are starting to see a pretty heavy drop in happiness now that, you know, what, there are like there are 3 different general goods items that all require iron, of which none of them have a supply. So yeah, this is going to start to drop pretty substantially. I guess I will need to keep an eye on it then, because there does exist a chance where 2 minecarts are not enough to push items through the system. And if that is the case, I just have to add another minecart, but I need to actually notice that I need to do that, or else it doesn't do me any good. Okay, so I'm gonna place all the forges. So these 3 can be iron plates. These last 2 can be nails. And then we just have to copy the rail, which does not seem to want to build. I'm wondering, this could possibly work with just conveyors, but the rails definitely work, so I'm going to use the rails. Interestingly enough, also, this system could borrow from its neighbors. I don't know if I want to implement that or not. That'll do me any good. Because I could have rail stops on all of these. I guess it ensures higher minecart saturation, but not sure it really ends up helping me to do that. I don't know. Sure. Let's set it up like that. So everyone works together. And there might be a way where I can like kind of design it to achieve some level of equilibrium, but I don't think it's gonna matter anyway. Yeah, no, I changed my mind. Okay, input into each of these. I guess I can just put minecarts in these corners since that's where they are on the other one, and then the system will basically be synced up too, which is nice. It did not. It helps if I have rail stops there. Okay. Alright, so the system is pushing iron through it. Now I need to push fuel into it. Well, no, I need to design the last forge first. So, how do I want to do this? This one won't be... This one can use the Super Minecart 3000 probably. Because then each one gets its own little silo. And then as long as there's 2 blocks between them, we're good. And there will be. How did I place that item? I guess it... Yeah. Like, how did I place an item underneath? What? But it makes sense. Okay. Silos. conveyors. I'm gonna go up to the next level. That's not what I wanted. And it's not gonna let me delete it either. Oh, it did actually. Normally it yells at me and tells me there's a supporting entity, even though I'm not trying to delete that. Okay, so that's where the Super Minecart 3000 will be, and it will connect to a forge, which will be right here. And it will be producing iron plates, because these ones are making nails. Yes, yes. So we should only need one minecart for this system, I would think, because it is a very small system. You just need the rail stops out from each of these and then in right there. Perfect. Beautiful. Alright, so that'll fill up as well. Everything will get all filled up. How my yellow coins doing? They're going back down, but the Omni reactor is running, so whatever. Just have to keep an eye on it. If it starts to drop really low, I need to like put the kibosh on that, but we're fine. So now I need to get the fuel lines in. Oh, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be tough, but no. I've made it artificially difficult though, because I'm realizing I'm going to have a hard time accessing part of the barn. Though, not too badly. There we go. Okay, so let me preemptively put my rail stop there, because otherwise I'll forget about it. And then, here is the channel. Do I want to? No. I was like, I want to have like buffers using silos, but it'll block off my output. Mostly just because I don't want to have as many minecarts in the system. This one's going to auto-place an output, but I need it to be an input. And last but not least, throw one there. Throw down a couple minecarts, and by a couple I mean like one every couple of blocks. Every 3 is hopefully going to be enough. I never watched it closely enough to actually like study that information. Come on, let me put one right there. There we go. I'm gonna get that one started first, otherwise I will forget. So the system should probably run counterclockwise because that's where most of the action is going to be. Alright. Oh my gosh, it actually lined up correctly. All of these are 3 blocks apart. Which sounds like a contrived thing to be happy about, but it does mean that the system will have a relatively level distribution of fuel. Okay, yeah, this is fine. Alright, now we need output. And it can use a similar structure, but not actually because I'm dumb. I actually should have moved these over by another block. And it didn't impact me too much with the fuel line, but it's going to impact me with the forge line. Because I could just do everything from the back, but then I'm only hitting the nails barn. I need to hit both barns. Alternatively, I could move the nails barn back. Which is probably what I'm going to do anyway. So this system can delete this, and I can move the Super Minecart 5000 that exists here in between the buildings, and then that's fine. I'm honestly surprised the game is like behaving and cooperating with me right now. I'm way too close to this for it to behave. Okay. I need 3 minecarts. Make sure everything's being moved as quickly as it possibly can. Also be going counterclockwise, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, so now the two barns are accessible, which means I can just do a very nice line right here that hits all of the forges. I have to say I am quite pleased with that. Okay, I will have to manually place these because it's not on the ground level. I need rail stops, not pushers. And they need to be set to output. Okay. Dumbed down version of Factorio. I need to play Factorio. There are many layers indeed, but I guess that's the charm, because what, Factorio is 2D. It does have some layers, doesn't it? But not... It's harder to visualize, or am I incorrect in that assessment? Probably put these further apart than the fuel. Oh, but no, because there's different things. Pretty much ground level only, okay. I guess I'll do every 3 again. This one won't be lined up, unfortunately. But it will be interesting to see how this works, because underground belt, but can't build anything else underground. Ah, I see. I am moderately worried. I guess what I should do, I'll filter 1 cart to each type. Because this will guarantee then that the system can never become fully jammed. Because there'll always be at least 1 minecart that can take the correct item. I'm just scared of the, what's that table? The table is, you fill out the item you want, how long you want it to take, which is relative to 100% productivity, and then how many of that item you need to make in that amount of time. Basically, the real important part is this part right here where it says buildings to meet cycle. It lets you know how many buildings you need to have that are actually producing that item in order to meet the demand at the specified time frame. It just makes it a lot easier than having to do all the math in your head. Okay, so is this working? More or less. So we should start to see happiness go back up now that iron exists again. It's gonna take a little bit for the nails to get back, it seems like, though. You see the whole factory, yes. So this is just like my general goods section. Scroll out a bit, it's getting real displeased, but over here is medicinal items, and I have a roller coaster of minecarts moving water around, because midway through... Oh, I noticed that these are mostly empty, but halfway through building this town they made like an update, which to be fair was a long time coming. They changed it so you can't have wells floating in midair, so now I had to centralize my water on the ground, which I need to actually check on to make sure it's working, and yes, I have enough water. I'm proud of this part right here. I've got a bunch of fish. It's a contrived system that's more complex than it needs to be, but basically it only allows the number of minecarts to enter the system that it needs to, and if there's not enough fish, it won't let the minecart go in there, which would be useful if it was a really long line, but when the line is only like 12 blocks long, it doesn't really matter. But then they just make their way back and get delivered over here, and I'm actually meeting demand now that I have distributed it correctly. It's the thought that counts, but I put way too much thought into it. What's going on with these? Why are these are not... They need more firepower. That's a problem. Why don't they have enough firepower? I don't think these have upgrades on them. They do. That's even more disconcerting. Okay. I guess the problem is it's just not distributed efficiently. How are we doing? We've still got paper. How's happiness? Is it slowly recovering? Yes, slowly. How's this system doing? Are we still struggling to meet demand on any front? It seems like the answer is yes. Have I... Okay, so these aren't really... It does seem like we're meeting demand. It's just balanced strangely. That one's full, but that one ends up being empty. But if that's the case, then I don't need to expand my forge infrastructure. Nope, this one is wildly full. Okay, so... I need more minecarts dedicated to moving just nails. So that one's nails. Oh, I see, because most of them get picked off by this forge. See, if you sell grain, you need 1 grain per house each 3 seconds, but if you sell grain and eggs, you need 1 grain per house each 6 seconds. Yes, so this takes into consideration all of that. Based on all the consumption times, you can pick which items you're trying to sell on this category. And basically, this slowest clock cycle section, as long as you're producing the number of items, I guess technically 1, at a clock cycle that's a lower amount than that, then it'll be green, but basically telling you that as long as you fulfill that demand, the towns will, that's how much they'll be able to eat. So this is kind of designed around maximum possible consumption, not necessarily what you have to do to keep them happy, but it's not going to actually achieve that until I hit 1500 happiness, so right now it's kind of functioning at below the level. But I'm noticing that this forge right here is kind of picking off minecarts and thus preventing them from picking up nails. So what I could actually do is probably just place a couple of minecarts. And there, now we have bona fide nail carts. It doesn't seem to be good enough. Okay. So therein lies the problem. Now, how do I want to solve the problem? I think I need more minecarts, and I do have to filter them, unfortunately. So I need a pattern. I guess I can do 7 minecarts, and then have 1 for each type of forge. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and there's enough space I can do a second line as well, which I'll probably want to do. So the first 2 are nails. Actually, no. Is this right? This isn't right. Because I need to look at the ratio of items being produced, not the number of buildings producing them. So it's almost 50-50. So I guess I'll do it 50-50. It's 5/9, so I guess I can do it that way. At 6, 7, 8, 9. So nails, I need 4 for nails, and then 5 for iron plates. I should probably rotate them so they're actually facing the correct direction. That might be beneficial, but that's beside the point. Okay. Oh no. I forgot that there are minecarts underneath them. Okay, so that system is... Did I manage? Okay, no, I did reverse the direction of the system. But it's not broken yet. Okay. do need... Honestly, what I should do is just go back and forth. So then every 9 it's still going to produce the correct amount. So let's see. So I actually need plates on the outside and then nails on the inside. Nails, plates, nails is already plates, plates. So this one needs to be nails. And that'll get the ratio correct, but have it as distributed as it can be. And then I will duplicate this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Crap. Okay, well, it'll be close, but not perfect. But as long as I am exceeding demand, it won't matter if the ratio is perfect or not. Okay, so this one needs to be nails. I guess I should just, here, I'll do the rest of the plates first. Okay. This one needs to be nails. And I think that's all of them after I connect this one. Okay, and then I should rotate them so they actually move. Okay, so now if I watch this, I am actually pulling enough items out of the system, which is important. So now that it's working, should be able to see whether or not this is correct. So we're using at least 2 buildings to produce reinforced planks. How many buildings did I need? 2.5, so until this one's running, I can say that I am not meeting demand. But some items are making it to here. However, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily running at half efficiency yet. I guess I should add some boosts. Now, it's not going to do me a lot of good, but I mean, eventually, theoretically, even though it's only a small percentage increase, it should destroy my backlog of other items. Oh my gosh, that nail just goes so fast, the progress bar for it. Yeah, sure, we'll give them 1 more each. I could boost them with fire, but if I do that, then back in the same boat I was in as far as number of resources. Do I fertilize farms? I do not fertilize them, I do water them though. Mostly just because it's too difficult to get the amount of fertilizer you need pushed into the system, but watering some of the fields, like not over here, but if I go back to like my food line, well, it's a little hard to see. Like this field runs the risk of running out of grain, but the water allows it to regrow fast enough that even though I have 4 farms like right next to each other, they're still able to keep running. Watering doesn't have that big of an impact up until like way later in the game, so you don't necessarily need to go hard for it. What's the deal with this? Why don't I have enough flour? Got bread. I mean, it exists. Yeah, it just isn't amazing. I would like to see it be more important. I say that now, even though I benefit from it not being that important. But like, I would like to see it like, oh hey, your crops grow not at all or exceptionally slowly if they don't have at least one or the other. Yeah, but I don't know. Okay, so upgrading these farms is kind of out of the question. I cannot reasonably spend 1,000 Omni Stones to upgrade them. but let me double check to make sure that I've actually like done this correctly. So flour, need 2 and a 5. Farms not stop working with 7 farm tiles per 100. Yeah, definitely early on, it's an active detriment to water your crops, which is kind of funny, but yeah, because it cuts it in half while it's performing the function. Once you get to higher levels of productivity, the ratio of time spent watering to the amount of time that the tile is watered becomes, or it works better in your favor. What am I looking for? Flour. I guess, because let's see, if I'm doing it in this cycle, I need 6 grain. But I think I'm trying to do it in a 5-second cycle. That might be my problem. So, how much boost do you get from your happiness? It's a 10% percentage boost for every 10 happiness. So like, if I mouse over this right here, I get 1,350 from happiness, and then I have 200 from Omni Stones. But it's unfortunate because a lot of the boosts are additive. I think the only one that's not is mineral boost from mines. But because everything's additive, the happiness boost the boost from happiness just overshadows everything else later on, which kind of sucks. It makes it a little, like there's, for instance, you can build steam powered stuff, but once you start satisfying the needs of your town, it's like there's no point. You're not going to ever need the 50% boost that it gives you. So I've got these, and they're not doing me any good. So yeah, according to the spreadsheet, 2 farms should be enough, but it still seems to be the slowest part of the system. I guess to be fair, the other parts of the system were easier to upgrade, so we'll just let it go at this rate. Once I get closer to that 1,500 happiness, it'll start to back up anyway. So let's go double check this real quick. Spend the last hour to write a big suggestion on the Factory Town Discord. I did see in the patch notes, or in like the announcement from the last update, that they're working on, or the developer is going to start working on changing the way that the town works and like delivery system. Am I not meeting enough need with magical supplies? But when that happens, this entire save will probably be useless, but hopefully then it'll be a bit more engaging to at least have different things running. I feel like they reduced the amount of time that items are satisfy needs, because I'm struggling so hard. Even though, I mean, I guess I'm just not producing enough items, and that's the problem. Oh, we do have reinforced planks moving through. I might have the ratio on those wrong, though. Probably do. I'm not producing them fast enough to actually, like, see anything on the top. Now I kind of am. Okay, so system just reset. The third item that goes through goes that way. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be an equal ratio now, though, and that's the problem. Yeah. So this system, this sorting system is completely useless now because it was built on incorrect information, so I actually just need splitters instead. It's not the biggest problem. I've rebuilt it elsewhere, so I can at least look at it again. Perhaps should not have deleted the whole thing in case I ever need to study it, but I think I'll survive. Okay, so now it's equal amounts going to the workshops and being sold. So hopefully that'll balance things out a little bit. How are we doing on the nail front? Are we meeting need now? Kind of. We might still be a little bit under, but we also aren't at 1500 happiness, so it's hard to say for certain. This fourth one is never being used, but it doesn't really need to be, so. And hilariously enough, even after just a few upgrades, we've already chewed through all of the excess iron, so this system is running at maximum capacity. Yeah, and we're not backlogged on anything yet, but it'll be a while before we would see that happen anyway. Curious to see if we will run. Okay, yeah, this system is running at above current rate, so that could be impacting other lines as well, although I'm not wildly sure that it is. At this point though, it's getting pretty late. I didn't make a lot of new progress. In fact, I didn't make any new progress. I only reworked existing systems, but it needs to happen in order to make sure everything gets to where it needs to be with as few workers as possible. So I think I am going to cut the stream off here. Thanks everyone for coming out, and I'll see you around next time. Have a good evening or morning wherever you guys are, and if you want the spreadsheet that I was using, you can download it from the link below the video. See you guys around. Bye.